Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Najma Hassan Hussein, matric number 195773.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Farid Nazrin bin Muhammad Nizar with the metric number 195845.
My name is Muhammad Taufik bin Zaidong, matrix number 195896.
My name is Osama Abdullah Saleh Bazair. My metric number is 195801.
Hi, my name is Abhinesh Nagarajan. My matric number is 196021.
Today we will be talking and presenting about the case study which is called Internet Worm. I will introduce you a little bit to our case study. What is Internet Worm? An Internet Worm is a type of malicious software that self-replicates and distributes copies of itself on its in to its network. Like if a bunch of computers are connected to a network or the internet, this malicious worm will distribute itself through it. It spreads through the internet. It breaks into computer, replicates without intervention from the creator, and sometimes even if it's you have this worm in your computer, you will not know that it's there. It will just be behind the scenes replicating itself, destroying your files, destroying your data. It can spread on their own, unlike Trojan or other viruses. Other viruses usually just infect one computer and they stay there, but this internet worm goes to other computers on the same network and over the internet. Next, please. Let me give you a little bit of findings, summary of findings about how this internet worm did its malicious thing, how it affected so many computers, and why until this day in 2021 we're still talking about it. The worm only targeted computers running a specific versions of Unix operating system, but it spread widely because it featured multiple vectors of attack. It attacked from different sections, from different areas, from different directions. For example, it exploited a backdoor in the Internet Electronic Mail System, which is the email basically, and a bug in the finger programming that identified network users. It's also designed to stay hidden. It's designed for you not to notice it or not to know it's there. The worm exploited several vulnerabilities, which are a hole in the debug mode of the Unix send mail program and a buffer overflow or overrun in the fingerhole network service. The transitive trust enabled by people setting up network login with no password requirements via remote execution with remote shell allowed this to happen, allowed this bug to spread so easily and so fast. Next, please. The worm did not damage or destroy files, but it still packed a punch. Vital military and university functions slowed to a crawl. The internet back in the day, it wasn't that big. It was only big universities and military that were using it. And the network community labored to figure out how the worm worked and how to remove it. Because the exact damages were difficult to quantify, but it's estimated it started around $100,000 and soared into the millions. Morse coding mistake it is instructing the worm to replicate itself regardless of a computer's reported infectious status. Whether it was there or not, it kept replicating itself. The resulting level of replication proved excessive, with the worm spreading rapidly, infecting some computers several times. Robin would eventually commit that Morris would have tried it on a simulator first. Now we will discuss few maintenance approaches that could have been done to avoid this.
Yes. Okay. So for proposed maintenance requirement one, uh, the preventive computer maintenance can be used. The best way to deal with problems is to stop them from happening in the first place. That is where preventive maintenance comes in. The goals of preventive maintenance are to reduce the likelihood of a hardware failure and extend the usefulness of a system. It also minimizes the system crashes. These are caused by outdated drivers and other software problems. One of it, which is our topic of discussion, which is against viruses and other malware such as worm. So one thing you can do is that secure Internet Explorer. The Internet Explorer is actually a dangerous software that is just sitting there on a hard drive. You can minimize the danger by configuring this IE to be secure as possible. To do so, you can run IE, choose the tools option, select the security zone, click the custom level button, choose high security, and then click the reset button. Repeat the process for each security zone. Now your IE will be as secure as it possibly can. So the next thing is that disable Windows scripting hosts. For the best security against BBS viruses or worms, we recommend removing the WSH entirely. You can remove this by using the add or remove programs in the control panel. or you can remove by manually deleting the file, but you have to delete it in proper sequence. Uh, so if you delete the wrong one, it will just back up and it won't delete fully. Okay, so the proposed maintenance for this is the best one is optimal internet worm treatment strategy based on the two-factor model optimizations of worm model in Zoe's two-factor worm propagation model. The host population is divided into four epidemiological classes, which is S, I, R, and Q, which can be seen in the table below. The model which incorporates control of this infectious host is given by the following nonlinear system of the differential equation. The equation are as stated. So during this code rate propagation, which was a worm propagation, an increasing number of people became aware of the worm and implemented some countermeasures. So here we can do cleaning compromises computers, patching or upgrading suspensible computers, setting up filters to block the worm traffic on firewalls, disconnecting their computers from internet. The process of removing suspectable hosts is directly related to the number of infected hosts at a time. So the topology constraint means that an infectious host may not be able to directly reach an infected or arbitrary suspectable host. It needs to infect several hosts on the root of the target before it can reach the target. Most worms, such as this red code, have no topology constraint. So we can remove all this by using all its proposed maintenance.
Okay, so I'll present the proposed maintenance requirements too. Okay, so for one of the proposed maintenance requirements is to shadow a password file. So a key attack of the worm program involved attempts to discover user passwords. It was able to determine success because the encrypted password of each user was a publicly readable file back in the days. Okay, this allows an attacker to encrypt lists of possible passwords and then compare them against the actual passwords without passing through the system function. In effect, the security of password is provided in a large part of the prohibited effort of trying all the combinations of letters. So, I mean, a clear approach to reducing the risk of such attacks, and an approach that has already been taken in some variants of the Unix, would be to have a shadow password file. The encrypted passwords are saved in a file that is readable only by the system administrators and the privileged call performers. Password encryptors and comparisons with an appropriate delay, which is 5 seconds. Okay, this would actually prevent any attempts to phish for the passwords. So monitoring the unused address space is another approach to solve this, so to avoid this internet worm. So worms using the client can generate random numbers for target addresses. There is a very high chance that these addresses are unused. Monitoring unused addresses space, which is known to many people now as darknet instead of used ones, is another approach. One of the major advantages of this method is that it requires significantly less resources than the methods looking at the normal traffic in used addresses.
Okay, for the proposed maintenance approach, okay, first of all, we need to know that the internet worms take advantage of computers' pre-existing security vulnerabilities at an operating system level and replicate without the computer user's knowledge or intervention. So therefore, the maintenance approach that is most suitable for the internet worm case study is through preventive maintenance. The reason preventive maintenance is proposed to approach the internet worm is because it is often hidden behind bugs or vulnerabilities that can be often be found in legitimate software. Okay, because of internet worm often hide behind bugs and vulnerabilities behind legitimate software. Therefore, the best way to do maintenance to deal with it is by preventing it from getting into our machine in the first place. For example, by having antivirus in a computer will allow us to detect worms before it is installed into our computer. And also the firewall in the computer will also filter out our network traffic from suspicious files or programs. Quoted from Barwise, 2010, he claimed that the most effective way during that time to prevent worm infection is to turn off JavaScript for normal web browsing because it is the most common entry point that worms use to infect computers. Okay, the other reason we use preventive approach is because once these internet worms are installed on a computer, it will suddenly go to work and infect the user's machine without their knowledge. Worms that install will keep running in the background and will take use of the resource in the computer and will eventually slow it down and may do harm to our computer or machine. Therefore, we need to prevent it from running in our background by deworm it with tools like antivirus. However, it is different for large corporations, government, and many other big company because hackers will always try to create sneaky worms to get past their security. Therefore, it is important for their administrator to make sure that the machine is always updated to cover up the vulnerability that they had in the previous patch that used to expose to worm attack. By doing this, they will prevent worm from gaining entry to their machine.
Okay, if you can see, there is preparation, scheduling, planning, and administration, and then execution, and finally continuous improvement. Next slide. Okay, this is the description of proposed maintenance life cycle. Okay, for the preparation description, preparation is a crucial step for the preventive maintenance that is routinely made on key operational equipment through the time consuming. Okay, for this task, okay, it is very important to take note that of acute model, make model, serial number, specification, asset identification number, and fixed location. Okay, after that, documenting the current condition of the equipment can help prioritize the important as part of preventive maintenance program. So estimate duration for preparation is 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, tools we will use Trello, a software management tool that help in managing task requirement, the task required to achieve the maintenance process. Okay, the next one is scheduling, which is making list of high priority item in so this one estimated duration is 1 week. So tool will be used is the cloud-based computerized maintenance management system, which will help to manage the work order and physical asset, schedules, track maintenance, and keep detail of record of asset performance and maintenance history. Okay, next. Okay, the next one is planning and administration. This is the third step. Okay, for the description, proper implementation and adoption of the program is crucial in a preventive maintenance program. Through it, though it will take time. Okay, because it is very essential for companies to prioritize training its maintenance staff as they are core user of the system. So, for this training, um, this planning and administration estimate duration is 2 weeks. Okay, after that, it is execution of the task, which is in this step, they will conduct the execution of prepared preventive procedure as it identifies, locates, and fixes bug or anomalies in functions. It will take like 2 weeks. Okay, the last one is continuous improvement. Okay, what we do in continuous improvement, we analyze the result of the preventive maintenance program and adjust or improve it as needed, since internet worm and virus are dynamic. Okay, so preventive maintenance program help company identify equipment that require more time and money than other. So it's lead to adjustment in the preventive maintenance schedule. So estimation time is 4 to 5 weeks. Okay, so that's all the description.
Thank you all. I hope you learned a little bit about the case study, which is the internet worm, and that will be all for our group